want to talk about how you attract a younger audience and a more diverse audience, because I think about sports, it's incredible, but if you don't have the future audience, so what? I mean, I've got an 18-year-old and she's kind of glued to her phone. I get it. Like, it's just different. Steph, let me start with you.
Okay.
How challenging is it to attract a younger audience?
I think it's incredibly challenging, especially WWE was always generational viewing. You know, you had kids that were brought into it by their parents, everybody sitting around the same screen. And even though we're still the most watched sport outside of the NFL, for family viewing, it's diminishing so quickly. So when you're losing that, when everyone has these screens and they have their own different methods of watching, you know, whatever it is they want to watch, or whatever it is they want to play, all of the different distractions, how are you going to reach these kids? It's a big problem. I would call it a challenge. Actually, the better word is opportunity.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about how you're finding those opportunities. Marie, come on in on this. Amazon, right? Aggressively moving into sports. How do you guys think about the younger fan?
So I'm going to follow up on Stephanie. It's an opportunity. And we think, you know, it's all white space for us. So we're really excited about the opportunity. And you can't do it the way it's always been done. You know, kids want to watch their content when, where, and how they want. So we see it as a great opportunity. We're on every single screen, every single piece of glass in over 240 countries. So we go at them where they are, we reach them where they are, and then we're really excited about optionality. You don't have to have the same experience. Stephanie and I probably want to watch, she's probably a better, and I'm more a character-driven fan. You know, I like the story or vice versa. So we believe in a lot of optionality because that's what they expect. And we also think you have to have it much more interactive. So Amazon owns Twitch, which we've learned so much from our interaction with Twitch. We've been showing Thursday Night Football on Twitch for several years, and it's a totally different experience. We literally have an interactive experience on Twitch, and folks are watching it with their favorite creator. Literally, they don't necessarily go to watch just an event, they go to watch with the community that they're with all week. So we think it's a great opportunity, and I think the leagues see it that way too.
We've been talking, we just did a live broadcast here at Bloomberg Radio, and a lot about community and how you create these communities between fans and players. Stephanie, WWE, the origins go back several decades. So how do you continue to dice and slice content and provide optionality, and so that you make sure you're meeting younger fans, but also a more diverse audience?
Absolutely. So our audience is actually 40% female, and we over-index for both.
Is it always 40%?
It has been, especially with the women's evolution, which I can get into in a little bit. But we over-index for African-American and Hispanic viewers as well. And our talent roster is, you know, 50% ethnically diverse. So it's a true representation. You know, and people see themselves in our product. And I think that's always been the way. It's reflective of culture. That's how you stay relevant.
Right.
And to Marie's point, you have to go where people are, where the viewers are, when they're watching, how they're watching, what they want to watch. So you have to create customized content for all different platforms. So for WWE, we're platform agnostic. You know, for our television shows regularly scheduled, we have partnerships with Fox and USA Network. We produce 7 hours of live content at a minimum every single week, 52 weeks a year. But then we also have an AVOD strategy, which is our digital and social strategy across all platforms. We're the #1 sports property on YouTube, actually more so than any of the other sports leagues combined. #1 sports property on TikTok, just ahead of the NBA, because we want to be where our fans are, and especially where these younger generational viewers are, and on streaming. So our formerly known as pay-per-views, our premium live events stream domestically on Peacock and WWE Network around the world.
Is it basically, Marie and Steph, like if somebody calls you, it's a platform, you're like, yes, let me talk to you. Like Marie, like do you say no to nobody, or how do you kind of pick through and say, here's where we need to focus our efforts?
Yeah, we absolutely, before we answer that question, I want to give Stephanie credit, because one of my favorite events ever was one that you invited me to, which was the first all-women's pay-per-view.
Yep.
Which was so powerful. It was out in NASA Coliseum, and literally to see these daughters with see whole families, but especially to see these daughters, and literally to see the legends and Rhonda and everybody. So anyway, so she walks the walk and talks the talk. So yeah,
and there's something to that, because we're in an environment where a lot of people make statements, say things, but they don't actually follow through. So kudos.
Yes.
To you.
Yeah, so no, we want to be on every piece of glass. I mean, you obviously have to prioritize your time and figure out, we don't do 100 alternate telecasts. We do, 2 or 3 right now, and we'll do more in the future. So it can't be unlimited optionality, but for every platform, we need to. That's our marching orders. We are on every platform. If there's a piece, I've said, it's not easy to deliver millions of concurrent streams without latency issues. And we do that. We do the Premier League, the Champions League, and I'll be in the war room, and there'll be a slight issue there'll be an issue with one platform, and that we're trying to work through with the engineers. And so in any other company, a lot of other companies would say, well, how big is that audience? Do we need to be on that platform? That's not how Amazon thinks. We have to be on every piece of glass. So we spend our time figuring out, how do we fix that glitch? How do we make sure people on that device also get great service? And it's hard because, you know yourselves, all these TVs out there, smart TVs, right. People don't replace their TVs that often. So it's hard when you're trying to serve live on all those platforms.
Let's talk deals, because you guys did a big one for Peacock, right? You're
yes.
streaming, I think $1 billion or so it's been said out.
So it's been said.
So it's been said. What did that do for you guys?
Well, so WWE launched the WWE Network, which
right.
is our direct-to-consumer platform, roughly 8 years ago. So we were one of the first. And we were also one of the first to realize we don't want to deal with all the technology problems, that arise.
Opportunities.
Exactly. We don't want to be competing, with the Disneys of the world in terms of technology and Apples and Amazons, et cetera.
Content.
Content, right. We're content producers. That's what we want to focus on. So in the U.S., we did license our content domestically to Peacock, and we announced another partnership with Disney in Asia. That we're very excited about, and look for a few more deals to roll out, internationally soon.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
All gravy.
Well, speaking of content, it is about content, and Marie, Amazon, big deal with the NFL. I mean, when that
I heard about it.
Story crossed, we were all like, wow, Amazon and the NFL.
Yeah, no, look, it's a game changer for us. It's a game changer for the industry, I think. And it didn't happen overnight. We've been in business with the NFL for about 5 years. I think we had 5 years of TriCast, where we shared the Thursday night game with NFL Network and a broadcast network. So we worked a lot with them, gained a lot of trust. Our Premier League was the first time we actually had exclusive rights for something that drove millions of concurrent viewers. And that was really important to the NFL, because they saw we could do it.
Right.
And they weren't putting the fan experience at risk. So we consider ourselves a key strategic partner for them, and to help them reach different audiences. We've been working with them on Twitch for years. AWS, Amazon Web Services, has a huge partnership with the NFL, helping behind the scenes on player health and safety, and all sorts of behind the scenes, next-gen stats. So it's a big, huge Amazon partnership, but I think it's a really strategic partnership for both of us, because we want to, you see where fans are going. I mean, yeah. It's not your parents' media anymore, so we have to innovate and engage fans differently, and so we're working really, really closely with them.
And you want more in terms, like, I gotta ask, because I'm gonna talk to Jimmy Pitaro of ESPN a little bit later, Sunday Ticket?
Which? The Sunday Ticket?
The Sunday Ticket package?
So we're really excited about our Thursday night football package.
Hoping for a headline. No, but it's really interesting. Well, but all of these things that you guys are talking about, different platforms, content, does it get to that younger fan?
We have found success, yes. So, for example, in TikTok, we did an announcer contest for SummerSlam. So, and we had actually tried a few different things, because I think it's really important to test and learn. Right, and the NFL wanted to make sure their fan experience was going to be just right, which is absolutely the right way to go. But you have to be willing to take chances, and today's audience is willing to let you do that. We launched we tried to do a recruiting effort through TikTok for talent to come, try out to see if they wanted to be a WWE superstar. It wasn't the most successful, wasn't the right way to use the platform. We then said we want to do a ring announcer contest, and we saw huge numbers. To come over, and then we were able to highlight and feature that TikTok, not even an influencer, or at least she didn't start out that way, And then, you know, we are going to be announcing a new competition. We're announcing it here, breaking news, to find a social media correspondent on the TikTok platform for WrestleMania, which is, you know, our Super Bowl, which is coming up April 2nd and April 3rd at AT&T Stadium.
Great way to catch people's attention.
Great way to catch their attention and engage with them. And again, you have to just be where they are.
Right.
You know, with content that resonates with them. That's the most important part. You have to speak their language. You know, the #1 rule of communication is to know your audience.
Right.
You know, and know what resonates.
Well, Marie, when you guys look at all the different platforms that you use, I mean, what are you finding? Who's going where? And specifically, as we're talking about this younger fan, like, what are you guys seeing?
So it's really important for us. We always start with the customer. So what we want to do is we want to create a really Big Ten experience. It's easy to find. It's on every glass in every country. But then when you come in, we want to figure out what works for you, because you don't want to make assumptions.
Right.
You know, you don't want to assume all young people want to watch a certain way. So we are very...
They don't, right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's, you know, some young people read long form. That's not their reputation, but from my experience, I know they do. So we're very focused on offering a lot of optionality and then listening to our fans. And sometimes they surprise you. When we launched the Premier League in the UK, one of the audio options we had, which we didn't even promote, was it was natural sounds of the stadium without the announcers. And talent hates when I tell this story, but it was really popular. And people loved it.
Just watching the game.
Yeah, and it's when Liverpool walks in. I mean, I tear up. I mean, you want, especially a Premier League event, it's the closest you can get to being there. So we never want to assume what people want. We always want to offer, and that goes especially with the young audience, because, you know, I have little kids in my life swiping the TV screen. So, you know, who would have thought that would happen? But every kid does it now. So you never want to assume, but we want to offer a lot of optionality and listen. We have to listen.
What? Go ahead.
I was just going to say gaming is another opportunity to really reach that next gen audience. And we have about 85% of our audience self-identifies as gamers. We have our 2K, it is. We have our 2K console game that's coming out in March. We have a huge mobile gaming business, but we're looking to really grow and expand upon that. And when everyone's talking about the metaverse and what it means, the way we're really looking at it is it's shared experiences. It is about that community. When you think about, you know, you were mentioning kids in your life. My 13-year-old, I walk in her room and she's got this headset on. She looks like a naval aviator with her blue light glasses and her thing, and she's playing Minecraft, and she's talking to her friends. That's how she's coming together with her friends. That's that shared experience.
Right.
And that enables you all over the world. You know, for WrestleMania, for example, in a non-pandemic era, we have people come from 60 different countries, all 50 states, all different backgrounds and beliefs, but they come together to share this passion, similar to the Super Bowl, I'm sure. But so then you enable this technology that allows those people to connect anytime, anywhere. You know, it's really freeing. It's amazing what it can do.
It's funny. Go ahead, Marie.
No, I was going to say, and that's why we're such believers in OTT. I mean, when you think about the two-way communication and the optionality and the gamification, you know, we have X-Ray, which is an overlay. If any of you watch Prime Video and you touch the screen, you can learn about, you know, the Mrs. Maisel cast or what music is playing. If you watch it during a live event, you can get live stats from the game. You can see they'll tell you who's on the field. They'll have instantaneous highlights. You'll be able to listen to different audio options, and we're going to continue to make that much more interactive and potentially gamified. And you can't do that on television. So we just think the future is unlimited when you think about all the optionality and the creativity and the innovation that we're able to do. And we'll follow the fans. Just listen to them.
We'll go with
They'll tell you.
What? They'll tell you. So, okay, Metaverse. I just did a 3-hour broadcast. It came up a lot. The Disney earnings call this week, you know, Bob Chapek talking about being all in. I think we don't know. Anybody know what the Metaverse is yet? Yeah. Oh, you do? Okay. Well, I think we're figuring it out. How do you think about the Metaverse or other technologies, Marie? Like, what do you think about where you need to be?
I think first, and I know it's repetitive, we start with the fans. So the Metaverse to us is what customer fan experience do we think will make the most sense? We're starting to look into it. It's for the Super Bowl. I don't know, in a few years, people at home can probably be at the tailgate with us and walk into the stadium and never leave their couch. I mean, I just think the opportunity is immense. And we're looking at everything. We've got, at Amazon, in addition to Twitch, we've got a great gaming division that we work very closely with.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fun ideas.
Steph, what about,
Yeah, I mean, I think we're limited only by our own imaginations. And right now we're having conversations with a number of different players in the space, not looking to really lock it into one thing. Again, it's about testing and learning and trying new things. But man, when you think about the potential of what it could become, I mean, it really is limitless. I think that's the best word to describe it.
Diversity and inclusion. Talk to me a little bit about that, because it's not only the audience, but it's also your core culture and stuff. So, Steph, how do you think about that in terms of making sure that that's a part of it?
Well, it's a huge piece of it, right? And representation is everything. And that's what we have found in WWE. Going back for a moment to the women's evolution that you touched on, Marie. So what started in 2015 as a hashtag that was Give Divas a Chance at the time, in response to a 5-minute women's match in a 3-hour show, which was unfortunately the norm. And our fans responded with this hashtag that trended worldwide for 3 days, specifically demanding better character development, better storylines, longer matches. And we responded in the biggest way possible with our chairman and CEO, also my father, Vince McMahon, who said, "We hear you, keep watching." Hashtag Give Divas a Chance. At WrestleMania that year, we completely rebranded the Divas division to the women's division, announced our women would now be called superstars, same as the men. And I don't want to get too deep into this because there's so many different things. Ultimately, the bottom line is our women were ultimately able not only to perform in the main event of WrestleMania in Abu Dhabi, they were, after 6 years, finally able to have a match covering their heads and their hands. And a chant broke out in the audience, "This is hope." Men and women chanting, "This is hope," which is not a typical WWE chant. And that has led to now about 5 matches in Saudi Arabia where the chant is simply, "This is awesome." And today, in advance of our premium live event in Saudi Arabia this Saturday, there are billboards featuring Becky Lynch and Lita all over Saudi Arabia in Jeddah and Riyadh for the first time, featuring our women right now.
That's pretty remarkable. And
Yeah.
that's fans really telling you. Marie, your thoughts in terms of diversity and inclusion? Because sports is just this world that you address so much.
It's a blank slate for us. So we think about it every day. When we launched a few years ago on Thursday Night Football, we had Hannah Storm and Andrea Kramer, the first 2 women to ever call an NFL game. We didn't do it because they were women. We did it because we wanted their perspective. It's more of a journalism perspective. In the UK, our Premier League coverage is hosted by Gabby Logan, a woman. And we have the French Open in France. I don't speak French, but I'm trying. And Amélie Mauresmo was our lead commentator on all the men's matches. So it's a blank slate. We just have to think openly, and everyone knows more diversity leads to better results, leads to more inclusion. It's a business imperative. It's top of mind all the time.
Bottom line, Gen Z is watching?
Oh, yes.
Gen Z is watching?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I think it's a question to us. What are they watching? Is that right?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, they're watching.
Exactly.
We hear from them all the time.
Marie and Steph, thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you so much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.